Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the whole Zach Bryan concert process, how it went for me and my friend personally, and like how the whole general admission thing goes, because honestly going into it like not knowing really much was a little scary. So I want to give everyone else that's like going in the future a little heads up. And this could also apply to like other concerts as well, but this one specifically is for Zach Bryan, the Quitting Time Tour. So if you want to know how that process went, keep watching. Okay, I just moved spots to somewhere with better lighting, so hopefully this is better. So basically how the whole process worked was we heard that other places were doing wristbands before, you know, like to get your number, which is basically your place in line later for the actual concert start time. So we heard they were giving out wristbands, so our plan was to go to the venue, get our wristband, and then go home, get ready, and then come back at the time that they wanted us back. So that was our plan. So I woke up at like 4 a.m, 4:30-ish, and I picked up my friend and we headed over downtown to the venue. So we were there early. We were one of the first people there. I'll pop in like a video or picture, but so there's this one guy that was there, and then two other girls in front of us, and then we were in line. So we were basically third in line. And yeah, we literally were just sitting there for a while. A lot of us asked the workers what the process was going to be, if there was going to be wristbands, when we were getting those, like when the box office opens, all that stuff, and no one knew anything. So we were basically all in the same boat, like we were all clueless, didn't know what was going to happen. So yeah, we were all just like kind of sitting there being like, are we even like getting wristbands? Like, we don't know. Because one of the girls told us for LA's concert for Zach Bryan, they were not doing wristbands, but we also heard that LA sent out like an email or like called the people in advance to let them know that they weren't doing wristbands. And the only email we got was where to line up for GA. So we assumed that we were getting wristbands, okay? And a few hours goes by, more people start coming. Like, it got more busy around like 8, I guess, is when it got like pretty busy, like 7 to 8-ish. And the line just kept growing, and we heard the word on the street was there was no wristbands, okay? No wristbands, but we wanted to wait until the box office opened to be sure. We wanted to wait, and we wanted to call them to personally ask, like, hey, are we doing wristbands? Are we not? Like, what's the deal? So we wait until 9, and we call the box office, and they don't pick up. So that was great, but basically the word on the street now is that there are no wristbands, like no wristbands. So we're like, well, shoot, because we've been waiting here for hours already. Like, what are we gonna do? My recommendation to y'all is, if you were in the same place as us and you have been waiting and you find out there's not going to be wristbands, make sure you make friends with the people in line by you, because that was honestly a lifesaver. Like, make sure like the people around you are nice and you become friends with them, because that was the only way we were able to keep our spot in line. Because basically what we did was we were friends with the people in front of us and behind us. So basically what we did was we took turns like going home and coming back, and while we were like home, like me and my friend, the people next to us were saving our spot in line. So that was our whole process, and it worked very well. There were no issues there. The issues start coming probably like closer to when we were gonna be getting lined up and actually getting like our actual wristbands to go into the concert. Not numbered ones, the actual ones, which I'll show y'all what those look like in a second. At this time, like, we're all back. We've all change, we took turns getting merch, all that stuff, parking and all that, and it's getting closer. It was around 4. We noticed this girl just sitting by a tree, like right next to the line. She's kind of in front of us though. And we're like, okay, that's weird, whatever. We kind of like disregard it. Like an hour goes by and she's still there, and all of a sudden like she walks up and she goes in front of us. We don't really think anything of it. We just tell her, we're like, hey, like, this is the front of the line, not the back. Like, the back is back there. Because a lot of people, you'd be surprised how many people thought the front of the line was the back of the line. Like, it was crazy. Even though there was like a sign that said like GA entrance, okay? But we're like, hey, like, this is the front of the line, like the back's over there. And she's like, oh, like, I'm not moving. And I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, like, my friends canceled on me, and I'm all alone, so I'm just gonna stay. And we're like, what? She's like, I've been here an hour, like, I'm not just gonna go to the back of the line. And we're like, oh, that's funny, we've been here like 12. Which is true, we were there like close to 12 hours, because we got there around 6 and it was like 5. So we've basically been there like 12 hours. And we're like, okay, so we've been here 12. And she's like, well, my friend works here, so I'm just gonna stay. And at one point, like, she offered to pay us, and then we said no. And then she's like, oh, like, my friend works here. And we're like, okay, I'll insert the video of this whole situation. I got some of it on camera, but I tried not to get faces in it, you know, for obvious reasons. In case I did want to post it, I didn't want to have to blur them out. So I'll insert that. But basically, like, she was trying to cut everyone. And that's just not fair. And she complained about waiting there an hour. And I'm like, girl, like, no. And she's like, no, like, I always get in front. Like, it's fine. And I think, like, her plan usually when it comes to GA is she waits till an hour before, like, flirts with guys that are closer to the front of the line, and then gets a good place in line. I think that's her plan, but none of us were her age and none of us were guys. So that didn't really work for her that time. So yeah, but then we ended up getting security. She gets moved to the back of the line. She only wanted to go halfway down. And we've been here 12. Gonna wait for that car. And yeah, so but she ended up getting like a better place in line that wasn't all the way down, because again, she used like the guy tactic. Okay, what a surprise. So basically the process so far, we got there early, they didn't do wristbands, so now it's around like 5:15 ish, and that's when they start like putting you into lines. Okay, so basically what they do is they go to the people towards the front of the line, and they have like these little gates to scan your ticket to go through the first stretch. Okay, so we were all put, so basically they just tell like the first person, like the first people in line, like, okay, we're gonna ask you to like pick a gate to go to. And then once we started like going to the gate, like there were the whole mob of people behind us started like running. Like it was crazy. It would have been like so easy to like cut, I feel like, because there's just so many people. Like how would you even know? So then you're like put into like these little sections, and then they start scanning your tickets, and you get a ticket. Like a ticket is like you don't need it for anything. It's just like a memorable thing, like a souvenir. You get that, and then you get a green little wristband. This is what ours looked like. I cut it off me because I didn't know how to get it off, but it said quitting time tour day 1, and it's like this green like fabric band. It was actually like pretty nice. You get that, and then you have to speed walk. Okay, we were kind of like all running, but they don't like running, but we all kind of did it anyway, sort of thing. So you have to do that to this other section. I'll put in a video. And basically there was like a guard, like a fence like a guardrail sort of thing, and then a drop down silver door that like eventually would open, and then you go to your next section. It's a lot of like standing, waiting, running, standing, waiting, running, standing, waiting. Like it's a lot of that. And it was very stressful because you could start in the front and make your way and then end up in the back by the time like you were able to go to GA. It's a lot of stressful things, okay? But basically by now they've already scanned our ticket once and we're put into like this other area with the little guardrail and the drop down door, okay? But mind you, the guardrail didn't cover the whole like thing that opened up, so, and they didn't get rid of the silver fence first, they opened the door first, okay? So me included, like everyone was trying to go to the side where like there wasn't a guardrail to like get over, okay? So once the door opened, you just have all of these people like spilling out, and I actually cut myself on the fence because there's so much pushing and shit. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was hard to breathe, like you're packed like sardines and then you have to sprint again. And basically we're all sprinting and then there's security on the other side of the door and they're like, whoa, 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 like no, you can't go yet. And we're like, then why'd you open the door? But yeah, so we're basically just sitting here and they put down like another guardrail, this time longer, to cover all of us. And they're like, if you try anything, you're going to the back of the line, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so we're all just standing there. And at this time, there's like a door like down, there was like where we were and then a hallway and then another door that led to like the bottom of the arena. And at this time, while we were waiting, early entry GA was going in. So basically we weren't early entry. If you are, it's a whole nother process. Like there's a whole nother line for GA. I would have to explain that in another video because I kind of get just how it works, but it's a whole other situation. Okay, so none of us were early entry. So we were just standing there, okay, and then they go and then they close the door down the hall, and then it's time for us to start going down the hall, okay? So security prefaces by saying, we're gonna guide you with this fence, you stay behind the fence, and then we're gonna wait again. So basically security was holding the fence and they were walking backwards and we had to like stay behind the fence. So it was like herding cattle. It was literally like it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, I've never had to do this in my life. And there was a lot of pushing still. If you are claustrophobic, I would not recommend getting GA because, oh my gosh, it was awful. Like you have everyone's sweat on you and it's very hard to breathe. It was a lot. Okay, so anyway, we get to the end of the hallway. There's like a big door that's closed right now. It's like one of those doors that goes down like this and then it opens like this. It doesn't open like, you know, a regular door. Okay, so we're there and they have like the guardrail up. There's no peeping through the sides. They like security on either side this time. They're learning. And basically the door is gonna open, and as soon as it opens, you have to sprint to another bit where they have like the 3 fences or 4 fences again, and you had to wait there. So basically you had to sprint, go there, and then wait again. Like we've had to sprint and wait like 4 times by now. I was getting over it. I was like so annoyed. I'm like, why? So basically you have to sprint ways away and you basically just need to follow the crowd, okay? There's no really tip I have for y'all there. Just sprint as fast as you can. And then you get to your little sections again. And we were all packed in there for not long, thank goodness, because I couldn't barely breathe. Like I thought I was gonna pass out when I was at this section. Sorry if I'm not explaining this well. It's really hard to explain. Like, I'm trying to explain it how it was in my mind. I'm trying to explain it for someone who wasn't there. But I'll try to like show, I didn't get pictures of everything, but this is just my experience, okay? So yeah, basically now we're all in these little sections. Be ready, because have your tickets pulled up by the time you get to this point, because they will be scanning them again. They scanned them once outside the venue. Now they're going to scan them again when you're inside the venue. And once they do that, you're going to get another wristband, which looks like this. So now you have 2 wristbands. And basically this is your ticket, like in and out of the pit, if you want to get like water or drink or something like that. Like, so don't lose either of these, okay? So yeah, they'll scan your ticket again, give you a wristband, and right after that, you basically have to book it to the actual, like by the stage, which is where you're gonna be staying. We didn't get barricade, we got the row behind barricade because, you know, there wasn't a ton of people by the barricade, but they were saving spots for like their friends and stuff, which is fine. Like, we didn't need barricade. We still could see perfectly fine. We still got such good videos. I'll pop some up on the screen. I think, yeah, it was a very good experience, but yeah. And then you basically like go to stage, whatever. And yeah, don't make the mistake that a lot of people make, okay? You think you're in GA, you're fine, okay? No, you still have to behave, because so many people got into fights and stuff about the littlest things, and they ended up being escorted by security out of the venue before the openers even came on. So behave yourselves. Don't get into a fight. It's not worth it, okay? Don't be like those people, okay? Don't even like engage, because sometimes what can also happen is security can mistake you for causing the fight, even though you may have had nothing to do with it. So don't be that person, okay? Don't. Also, if I would recommend, like, if you are going GA and you're not with a friend, make friends around you, because if you have to get water or go to the bathroom, you're gonna need someone to like save your spot, like if you don't want to lose your spot. So I would recommend doing that, because since I went with a friend, like she would just get water for us and I would save her spot with like my legs. I would just spread out my legs like that and save her spot. So if you don't have a friend to go with, make friends around you, ask them. I would also recommend, if you ever leave the pit, try to go back in the same way you came out, so those people know that you were already up there, if that makes sense. That would be my advice to you. Also, you do not need to get up at the crack of dawn and get into line if the venue isn't doing wristbands to get a good spot. You do not. We had people next to us and people who were at barricade who got there way after we did. They got there at like 2 or like 4 or whatever, and they were still very up close. So you do not need to get up there at the crack of dawn to get a good place by the stage, okay? Like, even if you do get up at the crack of dawn, like a good place by the stage is not guaranteed. It's more guaranteed, but still not guaranteed. My advice would be know your venue, check your email, check the venue's website, like everything. Check their Instagram, everything, because, you know, we did and we were still underprepared, but it's always good to check. You know, maybe they will send out an email or call you or text you saying if they're doing wristbands or not. We did not get a text or anything. It was very poorly planned, but it ended up being okay. So that's the whole process of how it worked for us. It's different for every venue in every state. So nothing I say is like guaranteed, but that was like our experience with it. So yeah. Another tip I want to give to y'all about the concert was Zach Bryan basically performs at the main stage for all the songs except his encore, which is Revival. So what I would do was we were at the front until Revival, and we didn't know he was switching stages, so by that time it was already too late. But my advice to y'all, once he leaves the front stage right before Revival, like he says bye, whatever, book it to the back where the other stages, you'll see it, because then you'll have like a good spot, first of all, getting out of the venue quick and seeing him very up close for Revival. So that's another tip I have for y'all for the concert. Hope that helped. It definitely would have helped me, I feel like, knowing all that information before going. That's why it also sucks like being day one of a concert, because you don't have anything to go off of at all and you can't ask. If you are GA and you're day two, go downtown to the venue and talk to the people in line. Ask them when they got there what the process was like, because people did that, like asked us questions who are day two, and I thought it was very smart because they got all the information that, you know, we wish we would have had for our concert day. But yeah, that was our experience. I hope this helped. And yeah, let me know if you want to see more videos like this, because yeah, like we watched all the TikToks and everything and we still weren't prepared. So hopefully this gave like a clear rundown of it all, because I don't think TikTok gave this much in depth. I didn't see a video out there giving this much in depth. So hopefully this helped. Good luck, have fun, and be safe if you're in GA, because it can be scary sometimes. And don't go alone, but if you are going alone, make friends around you. It helps a lot, trust me. Bye guys, love you.
I got an ice on me super silly. Fathers came in off a hunt.